Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, chiefs. Our apologies for starting late. With everything, I think we should start with prayers. So can we have Mr. Ubo give us opening prayers, please?
Please, may we be upstanding. In Jesus' name. Father, Lord, King of glory, we thank you for this opportunity we have to attend this meeting, annual general meeting of our dear company, DEAP Capital Management and Trust PLC. We thank you for how you have led all of us safely from our various destinations to this venue. As we want to start this meeting, we ask, oh God, that you come and direct us, guide us in everything we are going to do. Let there be peace, let there be understanding, let there be common goal. And at the end of the day, let honor and glory be given to you for all you have done for us. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen.
Chiefs, ladies and gentlemen, firstly, I need to apologize again for our tardiness and to apologize that some of the things that were included in our notices to you are not necessary, and as such, we will be glossing over those things. I take full responsibility for that error, and I apologize for that. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this annual general meeting of the company, for which notice has been given to members of the company having a right to attend and vote thereat. I declare that there is present a proper quorum. My apologies. Can we rise for the national anthem, please?
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribes and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace, oh, back to honor it, and this we count as gain. To hand unto our children a banner without stain. Oh God of all.
I'd like the managing director to introduce everybody.
polo suit like the chairman. I didn't know my position. My position doesn't warrant that. Thank you very much. My name is Anthony Adigwe. I am the CEO, DEAP Capital Management and Trust PLC. I use this opportunity to welcome my dear esteemed shareholders to our 12th annual general meeting. You're hereby all welcome. Okay. I want to start by introducing the gentlemen on the high table. I will start with my chairman, Dr. Kenneth Olisa, who is unavoidably absent, but is hereby represented by the vice chairman in the person of Mr. Ani. So, no particular to introduce Going forward, I would like to introduce Mr. Joel Omole. I also want to introduce Mr. Kobo Idudu. Further down, I would like to introduce Mr. Lamon Roten. I also want to introduce Dr. Biri. Beside him is Mr. Ekeng. Ekeng, Mr. Tokwe Odu Ses. And on my left is Mr. Paul Andrew. Okay, and the only lady amongst us is the company secretary. Thank you. Not her. She's not here on her personal capacity. She's here as company secretary, Osamo Otiono and Co. Thank you very much. Chairman, sir.
The audit committee members are also present at this meeting. They are Mr. Samuel Adedoyin, Mr. Banji Olugbosun, Mr. Abioye Tomori. We also have representatives of our auditors, Doyin Owolabi and Company. They are also at this meeting. Also present is a representative of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. We also have a representative of the Securities and Exchange Commission in this meeting. The Register of Directors' Holdings is available for inspection in compliance with the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. Oh, okay. I don't have the register. What? First registrar. The representative of the first registrar is here present with us. To facilitate the smooth conducting of our meeting, I would like to explain briefly that you will have an opportunity to second each resolution put to the meeting. I have also apologized earlier that some resolutions were included that are not absolutely necessary and will be taken up at board level. I would request that those who wish to speak should indicate by raising their hands. Please, when called upon to speak, state your name audibly and clearly before you make your comments. One of our ushers will hand you a microphone to make your comments more audible to the audience. I call on the company secretary to read the notice convening this meeting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for that succinct. My name is Kemi Oyebode. I represent Denton's Acres Law, Company Secretaries to DEAP Capital, and I will be taking the notice of the annual general meeting, being the AGM. Notice is hereby giving that the 12th annual general meeting of DEAP Capital Management and Trust PLC, the company, will be held at Event Hall, Providence Hotel, 12A, Oba Akinjobi Way, Ikeja GRA, Ikeja, Lagos, on Thursday, March 12, 2026, at 11 a.m. to transact the following business. Ordinary business. 1. Adoption of financial statements. To receive and adopt the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended 30th September 2024 and 2025, together with the reports of directors, auditors, and audit committee thereon. Number 2, election of directors. To elect and re-elect directors of the company. 3, auditors' remuneration. To authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors for the financial year ending 30th September 2026. 4th, constitution of the Statutory Audit Committee. To elect members of the Statutory Audit Committee pursuant to Section 404, subsection 3 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act of 2020. We go on to the special business. Special business. To consider and, if thought fit, pass the following as ordinary resolutions. 5, increase of share capital. That the share capital of the company be and is hereby increased from 1,500,000,000 naira divided into 3 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo each to 5,29,411,764 naira divided into 10,058,823,528 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each. By the creation of 7,058,823,528 additional ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, ranking pari passu in all respects with the existing shares of the company. 6, authority to undertake capital raising. That consequent upon the increase of share capital, the directors be and are hereby authorized to undertake a capital raising exercise by way of private placement, subscription, or other such means, inclusive of global private equity fund origination, or creation, or co-creation, as they may deem fit, subject to the approval of the relevant regulatory authorities, both local and global. Number 7, disapplication of preemption rights. That pursuant to the Companies and Allied Matters Act of 2020 and the Articles of Association of the company, the preemption rights of existing shareholders be and are hereby waived for the purpose of enabling the directors to allot shares to such persons and on such terms as they deem fit in connection with the capital raising exercise. Item 8, authority to issue and allot shares. That the directors be and are hereby authorized to issue and allot such number of shares as may be required to give effect to the capital raising exercise and the strategic repositioning of the company. Item 9, authority to create additional shares in the event of oversubscription. That in the event of oversubscription, the directors be and are hereby authorized to create additional shares and increase the issued share capital of the company accordingly, subject to regulatory approvals. Item 10, authority to enter agreements. That the directors be and are hereby authorized to enter into all agreements and execute all documents necessary to give effect to the foregoing resolutions, inclusive of creating partnerships with global financial institutions and advisors, that they may lead to accessing requisite capital to enable its minerals and metals corporate finance businesses going forward. Item 11, authority to make regulatory filings. That the directors be and are hereby authorized to make all necessary filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, Nigeria Exchange Limited, Corporate Affairs Commission, and other relevant authorities to give effect to these resolutions. To consider and, if thought fit, pass the following as special resolution. Item 12, change of the name of the company. That the name of the company be and is hereby changed from DEAP Capital and Trust PLC to Critical Minerals Financing Corporation PLC, defined as CMFC PLC, or such other name as may be approved by the Corporate Affairs Commission. Item 13, amendment of the Memorandum and Articles of Association. That the Memorandum and Articles of Association of the company be amended to reflect object clauses, the revised share capital, governance structure and strategic direction of the company to become Africa's premier private sector-led minerals finance institution. Item 14, strategic restructuring of the company. That the directors be and are hereby authorized to undertake the strategic restructuring of the company to reposition it as a specialized financing platform within the critical minerals and natural resources value chain across Africa, and to undertake such acquisitions, investments, business combinations, and capital structuring activities as they deem fit. Item 15, authority to create subsidiaries or special purpose vehicles. That the directors be and are hereby authorized to incorporate subsidiaries, special purpose vehicles, or associated companies locally or globally as may be necessary or desirable to implement the strategic objectives of the company. Item 16, constitution of the board and board committees. That the directors be and are hereby authorized to reconstitute the board, constitute audit and risk, investment and credit, and governance nominations and remunerations, as well as finance and general purpose committees in accordance with best corporate governance practice. Item 17, general authority. That the directors and the company secretary be and are hereby authorized to do all such things, to do all such acts, deeds, matters, and things as may be necessary to give effect to the above resolutions. I'll take the notes as read. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Somebody observe something? Yes, please. Can somebody hand him the microphone, please?
Thank you very much, sir. Ibekwe Roberts, Adenoba. Ibekwe Roberts, Adenoba, a shareholder. That's my name. I want to start my observation by commending the company secretary. In fact, the clarity of her reading is, I should say, CNN standards. Thank you very much. Now, the chairman, you said there are few items you want to remove from the agenda. I wanted to raise the observation before she started reading, but you had to take us through to read every single point on the agenda, and yet you said some of them will be removed. So
that's because we had already served you notice, and she read the notice as served.
Thank you very much. Well, that's a good point, but be that as it may, you would have allowed her to read those ones as she reads, we tick and know where we're going to face. Well, I have said that, but there is a point I want to raise, and I hope that will be taken into consideration in the agenda you are going to present to us. I want to say the presentations you have here, especially when you get to the preemptive rights, you have already preempted us before you bring the preemption. That's to say you want to exclude us completely from the capital raise. The shareholders have been so patient with possibly the old company, and you are bringing in a new board, a new company, and from the first day, you want to exclude us from the patience we have maintained over the years. So you are not going to give us rights. There has not been any bonus, there has not been any dividend, there has not been anything. The right that you would have taken, you have preempted us. That's to say, I don't know what is in your new agenda. Please add rights to your new agenda. That's my observation. Thank you very much, sir.
Well, in response to that, I think the issue of preemptive rights have been taken out of the Companies and Allied Matters Act and is within the purview of the board. No, we're not. It's one of the things that we will not be voting on. The first item on the agenda is the adoption of financial statements. To receive and adopt the audited financial statements of the company for the year ended 30th September 2024 and 2025, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and the audit committee thereon. The original accounts and copies duly signed are available at this meeting for verification. The chairman's statement is on page 11 of the annual report. With your permission, I want to consider the chairman's statement as read. I now call on the representative of our auditors to read the report of the auditors to the members on the 2024 annual report on pages 30 to 32. Can somebody hand the mic to? Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, distinguished shareholders, other board members and officers here present, the regulators and members of the audit committee. My name is Adedoyin Owolabi. I represent the firm of Mrs. Doyin Owolabi & Co., Chartered Accountants. That's your auditors. And I am here to read their auditor's certificate. What I'm going to read covers both 2024 and 2025 technically, because 2025 is the latest. Opinion. We have audited the financial statements of DEAP Capital Management and Trust PLC, which comprise the statements of financial position for the year ended September 30, 2025, statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, and statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and notes to the financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as of September 30, 2025, and their financial performance and cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with IFRS accounting standards as issued by the International Accounting Standards Board ISB, the provision of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAP C20, LFN 2020, the Investment and Securities Act 2007, and in compliance with the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act number 6, 2011. Basis of opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with the International Standards on Auditing, ISAs. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for audit of the financial statements section of our report. We are independent of the company in accordance with the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants and other independence requirements applicable to performing audits of DEAP Capital Management and Trust PLC. We believe that the audit evidences we have obtained are sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. Other information. The directors are responsible for the other information. The other information comprises the financial highlights, the report of the directors, management discussion and analysis, report of the statutory audit committee, statement of value added and 5-year financial summary as required by the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAP C20, laws of the Federation of Nigeria, and corporate governance report as required by the Securities and Exchange Commission, which we obtained prior to the date of this report, and the annual report, which is expected to be made available to us after the date. Other information does not include the financial statements and our auditor's report thereon. In connection with our audit and the financial statements, our responsibility is to read the other information and in doing so, consider whether the other information is materially inconsistent with the financial statements or our knowledge obtained in the audit or otherwise appears to be materially misstated. If based on the work we have performed, on the other information that we obtained prior to the date of the auditor's report, we concluded that there is a material misstatement of this other information, we are required to report that fact. We have nothing to report in this regard. Company's director's responsibility for the financial statements. The company's directors are responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of these financial statements in the manner required by the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAP C20, LFN 2020, and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act number 6, 2011. And for such internal controls as the directors determine are necessary to enable the preparation of financial statements are free from material misstatements, whether due to fraud or error. In preparing the financial statements, the directors are responsible for assessing the company's ability to continue as a going concern, disclosing as applicable matters related to going concern, and using the going concern basis of intent to liquidate the company or cease operations or have no realistic alternative but to do so. Auditor's responsibility. Our objectives are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatements, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue an auditor's report that includes our opinion. Reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, but it's not a guarantee that an audit conducted in accordance with ISAS will always detect a material misstatement when it exists. Misstatements can arise from fraud or error and are considered material if, individually or in the aggregate, they could reasonably be expected to influence the economic decisions of users taken on basis of these financial statements. As part of audit in accordance with ISAS, we exercise professional judgment and maintain professional skepticism throughout the audit. We also identify and assess the risks of the material misstatement of the financial statements, whether due to fraud or error, design and perform audit procedures responsive to those risks, and obtain audit evidence that is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. The risk of not detecting a material misstatement resulting from fraud is higher than for one resulting from error, as fraud may involve collusion, forgery, intentional omissions, misappropriations, or the override of internal controls. Obtain an understanding of internal controls relevant to the audit in order to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the company's internal controls. Evaluate the appropriateness of accounting policies used and the reasonableness of accounting estimates and related disclosures made by the directors. Conclude on the appropriateness of the director's use of going concern basis of accounting based on the audit evidence obtained, whether a material uncertainty exists relating to the events or conditions that may cast significant doubt on the company's ability to continue as a going concern. If we conclude that material uncertainty exists, we are required to draw attention in our auditor's report to the related disclosure in the financial statements, or if such disclosures are inadequate, to modify our opinion. Our conclusions are based on the audit evidence obtained up to date in our auditor's report. However, future events or conditions may cause the company to continue as a going concern. We obtain sufficient, appropriate, and audit evidence regarding the financial information of the entities or business activities within the company to express an opinion on the financial statements. We are responsible for the direction, supervision, and performance of the company's audit. We remain solely responsible for our audit opinion. We communicate with directors regarding, among other matters, the planned scope and timing of the audit and significant audit findings, including significant deficiencies in internal controls that we identify during our audit. We also provide the directors with a statement that we have complied with the relevant ethical requirements regarding independence, and to communicate to them all relationships and other matters that may reasonably be thought to bear on our independence and, where applicable, related safeguards. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. That's the last paragraph. In accordance with the 6th schedule of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C 20, LFN 2020, we expressly state that 1, we have obtained all the information and explanation which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of the audit. 2, the company's statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts. Three, in our opinion, the financial statements have been prepared in accordance with the provision of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C 20, laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2020. Stamped, signed, and sealed by Adedoyin Idowu Owolabi FCA, Financial Reporting Council number, so stated, for Doyin Owolabi & Co., Managing Partner, Doyin Owolabi & Co., and past President, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Owolabi. I now call on Mr. Samuel Adedoyin, the chairman of the Audit Committee, to read the Audit Committee report on page 29 of the annual report. Now, we will be if you have questions, we will be directing it to the chairman of the Audit Committee, and he will be in a position to answer that.
Mr. Chairman, sir, I want to follow the external auditors for us to read just one report of the Audit Committee for the 2 years, if so permitted. Do we permit us? Thank you, sir. So I will go to page 74. Please turn to page 74 of the financial statements published. The chairman of DEAP Capital and Management Trust PLC, members of the board, our regulatory authorities hereby present, Securities and Exchange Commission and NGX, our external auditors, our registrars, members. I want to recognize one of our referred leaders of the Shareholders Association, Sir Sonny Nwosu, KSS, and other leaders of our associations that are hereby present. Distinguished fellow shareholders, good morning. I want to read on behalf of the Audit Committee our statement. So turn to page 74. Return of the Audit Committee for year ended 30th September 2024 and year ended 30th September 2025. To the members of DEAP Capital Management and Trust PLC, In accordance with the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we, the members of the Audit Committee of DEAP Capital Management and Trust PLC, having carried out our statutory functions under the Act, hereby report that A, the accounting and reporting policies of the company are consistent with legal requirements and ethical practices. B, we reviewed the scope and planning of the external auditors for the period ended September 30, 2024 and 2025, and we confirmed that they were adequate. Meanwhile, due to the inactivity of the company during the years, the internal audit functions were not in operation during those periods. C, we have considered the independent auditor's post-audit report and management responses thereon and are satisfied thereto. Members of the Audit Committee are Samuel A. Adedoyin, FCA, Chairman and Shareholders Representative, Mr. Tomari Abioye, Shareholders Representative, Mr. Olugbosun Banji, Shareholders Representative, representing the board, Dr. Joseph Asaulu, Non-Executive Director, Mr. Edmond Ani, our Vice Chairman, Non-Executive Director, and signed by me, Samuel A. Adedoyin, FCA, FRC 2013/ICANN 002573, as Chairman of the Audit Committee, on behalf of the Audit Committee, on 24th of November 2025. Thank you so much, Chairman.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think since the chairman of the audit committee has read his report for the 2 years, I think it's appropriate to ask our auditor to read the accounts for 2025 so we can consider both simultaneously, with your agreement. Oh, you've done that, okay. So, there be no further comments. I hereby propose that the accounts for the year ended September 30th, 2024 and September 20th, 2025 be approved. May I ask a shareholder to move the motion? Oh, you want to ask questions? Okay. Please. Please.
Thank you, our amiable chairman, director seated, all patient shareholder here today, and regulatory authority. My name is Tunji Bamidele. I'm a shareholder, I'm a president professional investor across Africa. Leader of a Starlight shareholder in Oyo State. My chairman, we appreciate the board for this meeting. We know very well, according to the record, the company have a lot of challenges for many years back. But there's a signal that we are out of the wood, and tomorrow there's a hope. We are here to ask one or two things about the company. My chairman, we noted in your notice that we have a 12 resolution, 17 resolution today, and including changing of the name of the company. We need a little bit explanation where it requires to that level and where the name of the company want to be changed. Secondly, we studied the chairman report and the issue of AMCON and a new investor that's coming in. And we like to ask, what is our hope and the hope of the new investor? Secondly, how many functional subsidiaries do you have? And what's the next line of action? We know we have a lot of issues that is backlog, But what is the hope that we can guarantee as a leader to tell other members that as soon as there will be a return on our investment? We're ready to give honest support because we know very clear that tomorrow will be fruitful. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, ever-patient shareholders. I want to say good morning, or good afternoon, sorry. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, what we are having here is historical. But I want to just pick up a point from here. Looking at Chairman's statement, I want to look at the conversion of the shares. You converted and you are paying, the new shareholders or came into the board and they are giving us 1 naira. They took the shares 1 naira 35 kobo, and the price in NGS is 2 naira. Based on this, please, I don't know who is correcting. Based on this, I'm looking at. So, sir, I feel that it's not okay. If you look at 2 or 3 years ago, or 4 or even 5 years ago, since this company has not paid anything to patient shareholders, I feel that that price is so low. If I'm to suggest, we could have gone above this 2 naira, even as at the time you are collecting this company from us. If you, while I use collecting this company from us, if you look at that page 11 page 3, item 7, Mr. Chairman, waiving our right or waiving our shares for them to come in, and you have paid us by them coming in at 1 naira 35 kobo. I don't think this arrangement is okay. So I want to suggest, if at the course, if this, if you want us to approve it, if it finally goes through, please go back and rearrange and pay the shareholders, or you take the shares above 2 naira. That will be okay for us, because even at the market now is above 4 naira, 6 naira. Okay, thank you. 6 naira. So you are at advantage position to the whole arrangement. So I want to appeal that you should consider all these people that have been waiting all this while before the new investors come in. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, but you didn't give us your name.
My name is Eke Chibuzo Emmanuel, the shareholder. Thank you.
Next person.
Thank you. Good afternoon, all. Standing on existing protocol, my name is Bami Shile, AO. Now, I see that you are falling victim to what you claim to be an expert in per your business model on page 8, which said investment in undervalued companies listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange with very strong fundamentals and consistent performance over the past years. Private equity investment in companies with goodwill, but undergoing temporary difficulties as a result of inadequate funding and or ineffective management. Now, you have a good chance now with this core investor that's coming in with a total investment of about 6 billion, but initial 1 billion. What are you going to be doing now to address this problem? Because your sustainability and long-term stability is in question. Your revenue growth strategies have to be put in place. Cost reduction and expense control has to be monitored, because if we look at your total income of 3.14 million, total loss 9 million, total assets 303 million, shareholders fund negative 2.33 billion, accumulated loss 5.2 billion. Now, administrative expenses rose to 31.92 million from 19 million. What you generated was as a result of investment income. So going forward, what are you going to do now in terms of sustainability improvement to ensure long-term sustainability and restore positive shareholders' equity, and also strategic partnership expansion? The company recently attracted 1 billion, which I said before. And I believe these co-investors are intending to go into mining financing, energy transition financing, and probably strengthening balance sheet, which is up to the management. All these that I've listed, what are you going to do differently now to push us forward and also eventually be paying dividend? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, other board members, regulatory authorities here present, very distinguished shareholders. My name is Kola Alaga. Mr. Chairman, like one of the shareholders said, the accounts we are considering is historical. And it is from history that you take the present and move to the future. So, Mr. Chairman, let me refer us to page 12. That is the chairman's statement. He said that we now have a shareholders' funds of 2.3 billion. Mr. Chairman, considering critical mineral financing, which is capital intensive, do you think 10 billion is okay? Mr. Chairman, you said we are going into critical mineral financing. I want us to enlighten us more, because we wouldn't want the past to repeat itself. If you go to page 104, let's go to note 7 first, where you have an unsecured loan of about 40 million, which has been written off. Mr. Chairman, if you are going into mineral financing, how will you do it that the past will not repeat itself? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. God bless all of us.
Can we have the gentleman on the second row, please?
The acting chairman, very distinguished fellow shareholders, other directors. For the records, my name's Nona Awo. He mentioned his name, that is Alaga, and one of the things I try to do is to also know what the name stands for. But one of the things that is very prominent in his saying is that yesterday helps to guide the way to tomorrow. And given the state of this company, our company, my major area of interest and presentation this morning, or afternoon rather, will be about the future. But Mr. Chairman, because you are acting, you've been promoted. If you look at this account, you are the most vexing of the directors in terms of attendance. You never attended all but one meeting. And that's a challenge for me. It's also a challenge to the fact that even your fellow directors opted to have you as chairman. If you don't attend subcommittees of the board, you don't attend the board meeting, it becomes difficult for you to have a full grasp. Even if you read what is being said at the meetings, you probably will not read the body language. So I want you to tell us why you think that this is the way to go. Because you know why? Even if you put all the monies in this world on the table and you don't have the critical mind and head of thinking, that money will lie there waste. So it is not just your number that's important for us, it's what you bring on the table. As when you begin to find this attitude, I get worried. So I'm worried about your position. I also have a bad attitude. I will tell you the way it is. You may not like it, but I will not say anything outside the book that you have given me to review. However, having said that, I want to also thank you first on what I find on page 6. On page 6, they say that shareholders have a right to ask questions. But one of the things that you will not say is that if you haven't read, you are not likely to ask the right question. Okay? So I will hope that shareholders ourselves will also take our responsibility in reading this account, because that is the only way we can take you on, and in taking you on, you also be ready for work. I was expecting that one of the things you will have done even before this question and answer started is to say that, oh, this is the item that we are removing on the notice of the meeting. But since you haven't done that, I am not sure that we approved this large number of directors for our board. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So a number of you who are sitting here, if we haven't done that, you are not recognized as director. You are just spectators sitting down to watch the way the match is going to go. That's what you are. Because the last meeting that we had, I'm not sure we had this large board. Did we? No. So why will you come in here and you don't even think it's proper and decent enough to ask for approval for you to run our organization? Yes, even if you have come in as a technical advisor, foreign investor, and all of that, before you came, this company existed. So don't abuse being generous. Because one of the things that the first speaker said is that he's not happy that you paid an amount that he considered low. So your starting point will have told us is, why are you bringing this number? 11. For a company whose staff strength in this annual account is 3. 3. That's what you said here. And then you have a board of 11. Yes, I know magic still does happen, but not this type of magic now. Not this type of magic. So I'll be hoping that you're going to address the issue of non-recognized directors. You probably are directors to the company, but we haven't recognized you because you have not given approval for you being directors. The other one that I also think that we should talk about extensively is around the structure of our capital. In this annual account, we have talked about debt for equity, which means that the number of equity will increase. We have talked about getting foreign investor who will bring 3 billion, which also means that the capital will increase. Though you haven't talked about what the state of AMCON, which I'm also sure will also increase capital. Are you also going to do share offering to the shareholders? Because the reason I ask all of these under one position is the fact that you don't come back tomorrow and ask for share reconstruction. Because it's easy for us to give you approval. Before you know it, you have 30 billion shares in issue and paid up. And then you come 2 days after, I say, sorry, this load that you have given me, I can't carry it on my shoulder again. Can we reduce it? That way, even the short changing, in quote, will even become worse in terms of the structure of what we'll be carrying. So you must also give us assurance that from the plan that you have put in place, 10 men and 1 woman, probably we should add 1 more, so you become 12 apostles. But I also know that when we become 12, you are likely to have a Judas. But let's leave that for another day. Okay? You need to tell us what is it that you have envisaged that this is where we'll be headed. Because some of us who are probably going to clap for you today because we haven't read the account, or we are moved by the CNN presentation, we'll give you approval. But I can assure you, down the line, if the expectations are not met, they will turn you to Stephen, and I'll leave you to what they can do to Stephen. Okay? I am also interested in the area of subsidiary that somebody mentioned. But the reason my interest in the subsidiary came about is because on page 5 of this account, you talked about a special purpose vehicle and establishment of other subsidiaries as you may deem fit. Meanwhile, we have 2 subsidiaries. In 2025, nothing was mentioned about them. So it's also important that you give us an update as to what is happening in those subsidiaries. And if they do have a board, which of you here is double sitting on those subsidiaries? Because one of the things that I also haven't found here is to say, oh, director's fee. But I also know director's fee can come in different forms. So I also need to have an understanding of where we are headed. I will be asking that you permit me to also talk about the presentation of this account. Yes, you've asked that we should take this account for 2024 and 2025. It's also important that because we are regulated, and whether we want it or not, we are still very anemic. And I'm told that if you go to General Hospital, when they are donating blood and they find that you are anemic, nobody will take your blood. Because they don't want to take your blood and then they have a casualty. And they may not even have a space in their morgue. Okay? But for corporate organization, as long as the company is ready to die, there will be space to accommodate that company. But we don't want to die yet. I haven't escaped one long coma. Give us assurances that this is the last time that our account will not be ready as at when due. Because if it continues this way, you are going to find that the regulators will make us pay fines. And in paying fine, he also tells that, oh, this is a company that is not well and properly run. And that shouldn't be where we should be headed after the second attempt. The other one that I also think that you need to speak to, because sometimes one of the things that some of us have found in the space of being in the market, some foreign fanciful words are used without full implication, full understanding of the implication. If you look at the statement here, one of the things that you talked about you talked about local and foreign listing inadvertently without realizing that is what it means. So if you talk about foreign and local, which country are we hoping that will be listed? Because we want to be mineral financing organization. Do we have any plan to go to another country? If we do, please let us know. If it was a mistake, please announce that it's a mistake, and then we'll remove it. And finally, the new investor, should all of this be completed, what is the percentage of the company that they will be holding? Because one of the things some of us have found, again, because of the structure of our economy as Nigeria, very many times people whose pockets are very deep take out the minority in a manner that if you are not careful, that may become another round of revolt as we go along the line. So I want us to also be very mindful of that. Yes, we appreciate that you are bringing money when the company didn't have water in its system. But please don't do it to the point that it becomes very irritating to minority shareholders. So it's in that line that going forward, and where possible even today, tell us who each of these directors represents. Haven't told us what their holdings are. And you know why? Because everybody who is buying any shares anywhere in the world, what is basically is buying information. But when you give me information that is passport photograph, when what I should have is a full portrait, you're creating problem. Because when I get to know that the girl I was toasting, I would prefer her leg being straight and she has K-leg, there could be trouble. K-leg itself will enter. So to avoid K-leg, let's begin to make full disclosure. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anona. You've asked about 500 questions, and we don't know where to start from, but we'll try and answer all your questions. Now, the one I can answer personally right now, I can tell you that I was absent for reasons well beyond my control, which I have shared with the board, and they're happy with that.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, the members of the board, the regulatory authority present. My name is Mrs. E.O. Obidei, the National Coordinator of Ark of God Shareholder Association Incorporated. Sir, I have an observation. We have like 10 male on the board, and the Kama said we should have 33% of female. I don't think we have female. How do you want to balance? How do you want to think right? How do you want to make us to get dividend? We have to balance it. As we see the whole, there is male, there is female, but there is no female on the board. There is no female. Secondly, sir, this annual report is like advertisement to people, to shareholder, to the country. I know the people on the board are new people, but the picture is not showing. How can I tell my colleague or my member to key into this business without no picture? How will I explain to the person that these are the director, these are these people? Sir, going forward, don't let us miss out all these things. It's very, very important. And you are a new. Can I continue? Sir, what are okay. What are the assurance that you give shareholder? We've been suffering for a while, that in the next 2-3 years we will have dividend. What are the things you plan to do for shareholder? Most of us are pensioners. We are waiting for our fruit of labor, and this dividend is the fruit of our labor. So how do we know what are the things you are putting in place for us so that we can have hope on dividend? Fine, our price increase in the market. The price is not stable and it's fine, but that is not enough. The first one I say, very important, female director. We need female director on this board. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. Can we move forward? I think the questions have been asked, and so that we're not in danger of repeating ourselves, can I have the managing director give you a brief response to most of the questions, and I'll follow up on that.
Good afternoon, my esteemed shareholders. Yeah, I stand on my earlier introduction. Anthony Adigwe, MD DEAP Capital. Thank you. Our last AGM, we didn't have quite this number. So I want to take this opportunity to run a very brief profile to appreciate how far the board and management of DEAP Capital have fared so far. I will start by asking us, as shareholders, to show immense appreciation to Security and Exchange Commission, because they stood their ground that DEAP Capital won't go under. Because if DEAP Capital had gone under, we won't be sitting here today. So personally, we owe Security and Exchange Commission for all their magnanimity to make sure that this company does not go under. Because by every metrics, before now, DEAP Capital was supposed to have gone under completely. So Security and Exchange Commission, I stand here to thank you. And I also seize the opportunity also to thank the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Like I said, by every metrics, DEAP Capital will have been delisted from the exchange. But somehow, when the turbulence started, I wasn't there, but SEC had an interim management team, and I'm assuming that it was based on the report of that interim management team that SEC put everything in place to make sure that DEAP does not go under. And NGX2 did its best to make sure that this company was not delisted. Because if it was delisted, we won't be sitting here. So I also want to thank the Nigerian Stock Exchange for your magnanimity. When the current board resumed in May 2023, the company had been in comatose for almost 13 years, since 2013, or 10 years. We came on board, saw the books, and the directors took the decision, how can we revive this company? We approached SEC. All the annual fees we're owing SEC for 10 years, SEC waived it for us. All the liens they have put on all our assets, SEC removed all the liens. I am saying this because if SEC didn't go that route, DEAP Capital wouldn't have had an office. Because we have to pay rent for office, we have to have diesel generator for us to run the company. So it's through SEC effort that DEAP Capital survived to date. Okay, as a board and management, our first AGM we had was a 10-year report. For those of you who are present, will attest to this. All right, so the new board and management sat down and prepared a 10-year annual report for the shareholders to see where we're coming from and where we're going to. And to tell you, aside from the board, we have only 3 staff, myself and 2 staff, that did all this in 3 years. That when we resumed, most of you will know, DEAP share price was below 1 naira. But today, DEAP share price is over 6 naira. For a 3-staff member company. So what am I saying in effect? That the board and management fought on your behalf to make sure that this company does not go under. Please, I will ask, before going forward, that the esteemed shareholders please give an applaud to the director and staff of DEAP Capital. Okay, having said that, I would like to now take directly the questions thrown by the shareholders. I think the first shareholder asked about the change of name. Am I correct? Okay. The change of name came about when our core investors wrote a letter of intent to want to acquire DEAP Capital or take a majority shareholding. And we did a lot of discussion, and you know what it takes to do due diligence on a company that have been comatose for over 12 years. But after the due diligence, they still stood by us that they are interested in still acquiring the company. And to show their seriousness, they deposited with us 1 billion naira. Out of the 6 billion, that's going to be the overall investment. So in our discussion with them, they made it known that their target is critical mineral mining, basically. And we looked at it, and the name has to be in tandem with the investment or their strategic focus. All right? So that's why we decided that we will appeal to the shareholders to approve for the change of name. Does that answer your question, sir? Okay. You had two questions. I can't remember the second one correctly now. Okay, let me go to, the price. He talked about, the second person talked about the price of 1 naira 35 kobo. That came about when we looked at it, that how can we clean our books? Because if you know, DEAP Capital was into fund management, portfolio management. So when the crisis started, a lot of creditors that gave us their money to manage, all right? Most of those monies were mismanaged. Most of those monies came down principally because of the crisis in the stock market in 2008. So we now looked at it. What do we do? When we came on board, all right, I saw the exposure. I said, how can we go on with such exposure? So we wrote to SEC. SEC, please, permit us to convert this creditors fund to equity. They said, okay, we should write a proposal. Let them look at it. So the issue of pricing came. How do we go about it? We looked at it that we have unpaid share capital, all right, of about 1.5 million. And our exposure to the creditors is 2.5 billion. If we say we want to give them a fair price, based, and as a matter of fact, when we started that negotiation, the price of the share at the exchange was still below 1 naira. I think why the price even shot up to 2 naira, like one of the shareholders said, was when news, like they said, information drives the market. When news begin to go around that DEAP Capital is doing something to clear this overhang. So we now looked at it. It will be quicker for us to use our unpaid share capital to convert to equity than applying to CAC to increase share capital. We cannot even do that on our own. We have to first of all call an AGM for approval. All right? And given the state of the company, we know what it will cost to finance an AGM. So we said, okay, we have unpaid share capital. Why don't let us walk around what we have? So we used the available unpaid share capital with the amount, with the exposure. That's how we got that amount. So we can pay for all those outstanding shares, because I know it's going to take us a longer time if we go the route of increasing the share capital. So that's how we got to that price. Did that answer your question? Yes. Okay. Somebody talked about sustainability improvement. Company Secretary, am I following accordingly? Okay. Okay. Sustainability improvement, it's obvious. If we all follow the economic trend worldwide or globally, all right, it's critical mineral that is the issue internationally now. So the core investor coming at this time and telling us this is their area of focus, we saw it as a strategic positioning, and we keyed into it. Okay? And like I said, to make good their interest, they have already deposited 1 billion with us, and immediately after the AGM, we'll be getting the balance, and we're good to run. Okay? And I will assure you, with this investment, in the next 6 months, 1 year, don't be surprised that DEAP share price will be in the range of 20, 25 naira. Yeah, one of the shareholders asked about the number of directors. Like, we went this way that, okay, when we have signed the agreement with the core investor, we had a board meeting, all right, and they were incorporated. So now say, okay, I haven't incorporated them. They are now, how will I put it now? Director nominees, so to say, that will bring them to the shareholders to ratify what the board has nominated. So that's why they are sitting here, all right, subject to your ratification. We're not saying they are already substantive director. We're just saying they are here so you can have a direct face-to-face with them, all right, when you want to ratify them. Because if they're in the crowd, they will be lost to you. Am I correct? Somebody asked about the AMCOM. I would like to tell you that the AMCOM hurdle has been jumped. Because after we dealt with SEC, got the waiver, they gave us the go-ahead to do the debt equity conversion. Our major problem now was we're still carrying a lot of exposure with AMCOM because of the margin facility we took from one of the banks, up to the tune of 1.8 billion. So I went there with some of my directors. We had a long debate with them. At the end of the day, they discovered there was a mistake in the figure, and they brought down the exposure to 400 million. So out of the 400 million, we gave them a repayment plan. And to show how seriously we are, because first of all, after negotiating, we told them we're going to pay within 1 year, but we couldn't. So when we were ready, we go back to them. They said there's an interest element. So they made it 430 million. We said, no problem. To show you that we're ready we pay them the 30 million interest upfront. So as we speak, we have paid AMCOM 30 million. The 400 million, we have agreed with them on payment schedule, which we will follow through. Okay? And because of that, ordinarily, we were in court with them, so they have reason to us that they're going to withdraw all the cases they have in court with us. Somebody talk about the subsidiaries. As you know, DVCF is technically moribund. That's one of our subsidiaries that is into oil and gas. But because, how would we put it now? You cannot be chasing a subsidiary when the parent company is still comatose. All right, so now that we have strategized and we have repositioned ourselves, we can now look properly into those subsidiaries. Okay? So that's about DVCF. About Research Securities, it's a stockbroking firm. When the board came on board, we wrote to them that we are aware that DEAP Capital holds 17% holding in your company, and we're entitled to nominate directors. They wrote to us, refusing our offer. With the permission of the board, I had to go to court. And eventually, we had an out-of-court settlement. As we speak, we have 2 directors sitting on the board of Research Securities and Trust. Somebody talk about the account when due. In respect of shareholder, yes, it must have come late because we needed to print. And printing is not within our control. You know, mistakes, we'll go through it, so that took a while. But I want to assure you, with SEC and NGX, our account always goes there before the due date. So there's no fear of any penalty. We have never fallen short of submitting our accounts as of when it's due. Be rest assured. All right? So all those ones have been taken care of. I cannot say much about the gender director. The directors as a whole will look at it and we'll see what can be done. That's not in my purview to answer. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adigwe. I hope that answers your questions. So we'll go on to the rest of business, which the first one being the adoption of the financial statements. There being no further comments, I hereby propose that the accounts for the years ended September 30th, 2024 and 2025 be approved. May I ask a shareholder to please move the motion? Yes, sir. Can you give him the microphone?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Engineer Sunday Azubi Coach. I second the motion. Oh, I propose a motion, please.
Any seconder?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The name is Odunuga Samiyat. I second the motion.
Thank you. Those in favor? I don't see that many hands. All right. Those against? I declare the motion carried. Okay, the next item is the election of directors. The following directors were appointed after the last AGM. Mr. Lamon Ruten, Dr. Israel Oviri, Mr. Tokpe Oduseso. We had introduced them to you earlier, but I will get them to rise as I call their names. Mr. Lamon Ruten, Dr. Israel Oviri, Mr. Tokpe Oduseso, Mr. Francis Ekeng. We hereby present them for election to the board by the shareholders of the company. No, these are the new board members we have introduced. Yeah? They're representing the core investors, yes. I hereby propose that the directors concerned, being eligible, be hereby elected to the board of directors of the company by a single resolution. May I have a shareholder second that motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon.
I so second the motion. The name
Thank
is
you very
Noble
much.
Mwabueze.
Those in favor? Those against? I declare the resolution carried. Be it resolved, and it is hereby resolved, that Mr. Lamon Ruten, Dr. Israel Oviri, Mr. Tokpe Oduseso, and Mr. Francis Ekeng are hereby elected as directors of DEAP Management and Trust PLC. Remuneration of auditors. Okay. Company secretary.
You know what they mean by election proper? You know what they mean by election proper?
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to confirm what the concern is, please. Please, this is just to confirm what the concern is so that we can address it appropriately, sirs and ma'ams. Election of the directors. So you would like to do like an independent passage of the resolutions, because
My chairman, by the privilege, Tunji Bamide is my name. What we expect our chairman to do is to call that name and move a motion. The one you called before, you raise a single resolution. It's just a simple thing. Call that name now as a propose a resolution to back it up. Thank you.
So you would like it to be done independently for good order.
Call out the names and then we vote.
All right. This is duly noted. Your concerns are duly noted, and the chairman would. Okay.
Hello.
This is. We hereby.
No.
Thank you.
Okay. We shall call the names of all the directors one by one, and we'll take it as we'll propose that they are elected. And I think we'll. Okay, let me start with our Mr. Lamont Ruchend. You need to stand up again. Yeah. Dr. Israel Oviri.
Thank you very much, Mr. Acting Chairman. My name is Kola Alaga. I propose that the directors be approved, be elected by the House.
I so second that motion.
Yes, Mr.
Thank you.
My name is Comrade
AK
Babatunde
Chibuzo Emmanuel.
Those in favor? Those against? I declare that motion carried. Okay, auditors' remunerations. The next business of the day is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors appointed in accordance with Section 408 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 for the financial year ending September 30th, 2026. Section 408 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 stipulates that the remuneration of the external auditors shall be determined by the company in general meeting or in such manner as the company in general meeting may determine. I now propose that the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditors for the year ending September 30th, 2026. Will a shareholder please second the motion?
Thank you, my interim chairman. I, Prince Awosanya, I so do, all the way from Rama Federal Constituency.
My name is Abioye Victor.
The motion carried. Constitution of the Statutory Audit Committee. We will do that one last. Special business. Increase of share capital. That the share capital of the company shall be increased from the current units of 3 billion ordinary shares of 50 kobo each to 10 billion and 58,823,529 units of ordinary shares of 50 kobo each by the creation of 7,058,823,529 units of ordinary shares of 50 kobo each to be issued and fully allotted to Bank Link Africa Private Equity Limited and RGM Material Solutions Limited at 85 kobo each. May I have a shareholder second the motion?
Chairman. My name is Lawal Oluwakim, Bala elect, Snake Island. I do second the motion.
Those in favor? Those against? I declare that resolution carried. Authority to undertake capital raising. That consequent upon the increase of share capital, the directors be and are hereby authorized to undertake a capital raising exercise by way of private placement, subscription, or such other means, inclusive of global private equity fund origination or creation or co-creation as they deem fit, subject to the approval of the relevant regulatory authorities. May I have a shareholder to second the resolution?
Hello, thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Tijani Oluwani Shola, so second.
Those in favor? Those against? I declare that resolution carried. We will skip, like we already discussed, the disapplication of preemptive rights. The authority to issue and allot shares, that's already been covered. Authority to create additional shares in the event of oversubscription. Authority to enter into agreements, because that's already vested in the board. Authority to make regulatory filings, that again is already vested in the board. To consider and if thought fit, pass the following special resolutions. Change of the name of the company. That the name of the company be and is hereby changed from DEAP Capital Management and Trust PLC to Critical Minerals Financing Corporation PLC, CMFC PLC, or such other name as may be approved by the Corporate Affairs Commission. May I have a shareholder to second the resolution?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I so second. His name is William Senabasi.
Those in favor? Those against? I declare that resolution carried. Amendment of Memorandum and Articles of Association. That the Memorandum and Articles of Association of the company be amended to reflect the revised share capital, governance structure, and strategic direction of the company to becoming Africa's premier private sector-led minerals finance institution. May I have a shareholder to second the resolution?
Thank you, my chairman, for recognizing me. I am Yekina Adisa, a shareholder. I rise to second the motion. Also, Governor Focus Shareholder Circle. Thank you.
Those in favor? Those against? I declare that resolution carried. General authority. that the directors and company secretary be and are hereby authorized to do all such acts, deeds, matters, and such things as may be necessary to give effect to the above resolutions. May I have
Chairman.
Yes.
This meeting has moved so well, and the intention is not to hold it down in any manner or way. But as shareholders, we don't have a right to instruct company secretary. That power we have surrendered, in quote, once we approve you as directors, to you to talk to whoever the company secretary. So in your presentation, please remove secretary. But it's also important that we don't go away here with the wrong impression that if you're a company, you have made a mistake in listing items for approval, you can take them in and out in the manner in which you want. I will be asking, when you finish the last item, you go back to all the items that you are deleting from us approving today, and we'll give you the authority that they are hereby delisted. You know why? Because some persons will tell you there is no heaven, there is no hell. But I ask myself, if there is heaven and I do well here and I go to heaven, have I lost anything? But if there is no heaven and I also don't go to hell, have I lost anything? So let's do one in whichever way will be right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Duly noted.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, fellow shareholders, our dear regulators here present. I am Udin Joseph Oluwasegun, a shareholder of our great company. I would like to raise a point of order. The meeting has been going on peacefully, but in an indisciplined and undecorous manner, because shareholders have been picking up the mic without you authorizing them. I was at the opportunity, I got the mic to speak, but I wanted your recognition before speaking. So when other shareholders pick up the mic like that, then it means that we are going to turn this meeting into an anarchous environment. So please, note. Thank you very much.
Can we carry on? That the directors be and are hereby authorized to do all such acts, deeds, matters, and things as may be necessary to give effect to the above resolutions. May I have somebody second that, please? The lady in the middle. The lady in the middle. No. The lady in the middle. Thank you.
I'm a grandma. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The name is Kefala Mary Joke.
Those in favor? Everybody. Those against? I declare the resolution carried. May I also ask your permission to remove those items that we had listed that are not necessary? Those are items 8, items 9, items 10, 14, 18, and 16. Item 7. And item 7, yes. Pardon? I should go over all of them. No. Item 7, items 8, item 9, item 10, item 14, item 15, and item 16. So, may I have your permission to remove them? May I have a shareholder second that motion?
Thank you very much, Chairman. Ibekwe Roberts Adenobai, shareholder, remains my name. I want to thank you. I'm going to move it. Okay, I'm going to second it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Meanwhile, sir, don't be offended. I actually raised my hand several times to speak, but the point I still want to raise, please, shareholders, we should not be in a hurry. You're right. You're right. Please, shareholders, listen. We have already given the new investors the go-ahead to acquire the company at 85 kobo. And they're coming out for rights. The market price today is 6 naira 50 kobo. What are they going to give us for rights? Are you asking yourself that question? Or we should just go ahead and support everything and we get out of this place? I'm not against the pricing, sir. This business is driven by information. In fact, we have a lot of points that we could have raised in this place. The new board is coming, the amiable MD who has been running this company. I was not happy to hear that the MD, who's supposed to sit very close to the chairman and the company secretary, is sitting at the extreme end. Even if we are bringing a new board, we should be taken along, chairman. Please, sir. We should be taken along. We have approved that the capital raise, the new investors coming in, should take their own at 85 kobo. Is that not what was approved? Are they coming out for rights? If they come out for rights, are the shareholders going to be considered? Yes, we have now moved, or we have waived our preemptive. So if they are giving us, at what rate are they going to give us? And we are all saying, carry go ahead. Please, Chairman, let's think about these things. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, I second the move anyway. Robert,
thank you for seconding. May I respond briefly to you? You have appointed us as directors, and you have authorized us to work on your behalf. We will do what is best for our shareholders. May I have, okay, we've had somebody second. Those in favor? Those against? Well, that resolution is hereby carried. Unanimously carried. I think now we will take on the appointment of the election, rather, of the Statutory Audit Committee, the constitution of the Statutory Audit Committee. Okay, I'm going to hand over to the managing director to.
Good afternoon once again. My name still remains the same. The chairman has authorized me to supervise and handle the audit committee elections. Thank you, Chairman, sir. So I will start by asking the shareholders to nominate, sorry. Yeah. No. Call out the names. Yeah, the names. Hold on, please. Hold on, please. Okay, all right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. We have here Mr. Samuel Adedoyin, who happens to be the current chairman. So please. Okay. Okay, the first. Okay, all right, okay, all right, all right. No, why I'm saying so, somebody has stepped down already. The first name. Yes, has stepped down. Yes. No, I think the two have stepped down, so it's just three of them.
If that's what you need to announce, then we don't need to do election.
How many names do we have?
5, but 2 have stepped down. So it's existing. So it's just to announce that.
Okay, so which ones have stepped down?
This one, first and the last.
Who are we replacing them?
No, nobody. There's supposed to be 3.
Yeah, there's 3.
Yeah, so the 3 existing ones are the ones coming back.
But do we have any nominations?
No.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have 5 nominees here. Dr. Lawrence Olufayo Aluko, Mr. Samuel Adedoyin, Mr. Banji Olugbosun, Mr. Abioye Tomori, and Mr. Kolawole Ganiyu Amo. And it appears that Mr. Lawrence Olufayo Aluko and Mr. Kolawole Ganiyu Amo have stepped down. So the remaining 3, no, all in favor of retaining the remaining 3? Anybody against? So Mr. Samuel Adedoyin, Mr. Banji Olugbosun, and Mr. Abioye Tomori are hereby retained as members of the audit committee. As is usual practice, the board will be nominating the other 2 members. Ladies and gentlemen, chiefs, that concludes the formal business of the annual general meeting. I now declare the meeting closed. I thank you on behalf of the board. Hold on. I thank you on behalf of the board, management, and staff of our company for attending this meeting and showing so much interest in the affairs of our company. We have a little video presentation for you before you leave that will tell you the direction, or we'll try as much as possible to explain the direction that we intend to take this company to. Please bear with us.
Africa stands at the center of a profound global transformation. Africa stands at the center of a profound global transformation. Across the world, the foundations of the modern economy are being rebuilt. Energy systems are shifting toward cleaner power. Transportation is moving toward electrification. Artificial intelligence is expanding the digital frontier. Space technologies are advancing. National defense has become imperative. Advanced manufacturing is accelerating, and global supply chains are being redesigned to secure the resources that will power the industries of tomorrow. At the heart of this transformation lies a new strategic reality. Critical minerals, lithium, copper, nickel, cobalt, manganese, graphite, tin, tantalum, titanium, antimony, platinum and palladium, zinc, and other rare earth elements amongst others. These are no longer ordinary commodities. They are the essential building blocks of electric vehicles, renewable energy, digital infrastructure, space technology, modern defense systems, and the advanced industries of the future. And Africa holds some of the most significant reserves of these resources anywhere on Earth. For centuries, the world has passed through great waves of industrial achievement. In many of those moments, Africa supplied the raw materials, but captured only a small share of the value. We as Africans lost out in the first and second industrial revolutions. We cannot afford to be onlookers in the emerging ones. Today, a new industrial era is emerging, and this time, Africa intends to participate differently. For more than 15 years, we have stood on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. We began as DEAP Capital. Through economic cycles and market challenges, we endured. We adapted, we learned, and we remained standing. Energy systems are transforming, technology is accelerating, and global industries are reorganizing around one critical foundation: critical minerals. Recognizing this moment required a bold decision, a pivot from legacy positioning to future opportunity. From general capital markets participation to a focused mandate on the intersection of minerals, money, and markets. Today, that transformation becomes reality. DEAP Capital becomes CMFC, the Critical Minerals Financing Corporation. CMFC is built to operate where natural resources meet financial structure, where natural capital will deliver bountiful financial capital, and where financial capital will deliver physical capital, the bane of underdevelopment in our continent. We understand mining and metals, yet we have mastered capital. Our mission is clear: provide structured finance for exploration, blend corporate finance, resource-based investing, and enable processing and value chain addition and transformation, and to truly connect Africa's mineral wealth to global markets. From lithium and nickel to copper, rare earths, and other strategic minerals, CMFC will focus on building financial infrastructure required to unlock Africa's next generation of industrial growth. CMFC will sit at the intersection of mining, processing, beneficiation, logistics and storage, commodity trading, and private equities. CMFC will provide equity and debt capital across mines to market value chains, from upstream, midstream, and downstream, and operate portfolio businesses across the minerals and metals value chain. Nigeria becomes the launchpad, a nation rich in mineral diversity and positioned to lead a new phase of African development. The global mineral supercycle has begun. Demand for the resources powering clean energy, global digital infrastructure, advanced manufacturing, and next-generation technologies will define the economic landscape of the coming decades. Africa holds the advantage, and CMFC is positioned to help transform that advantage into long-term value. For our shareholders, this marks the beginning of a new chapter. The reset is complete. The strategy is clear. At CMFC, we understand minerals and metals. Guess what's our edge? We have mastered capital. That's our new edge. And as the future unfolds, we are future ready, and now Africa is rising at last. CMFC, the premier Africa's investment bank for metals and minerals. Africa stands at the center
to the whole world
continue to be making in the name of Allah. Allah, ina tena bismillahir rahmanir rahim, ina tena alika sara fasadu li rabbika waniya ina shaniaka wa labtar sallu ala nabil karim.
Can we rise for the national anthem, please? Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.